So I go, hello everyone. Those that may not know who I am, I am Christopher, also known as DJ Taylor Senpai. I've been part of the con community for about 15 years in the making. I'm also been a traveling mobile DJ from different conventions, from BlurCon to DreamCon to Anime NYC, Anime Frontier, Anime Expo, MomoCon, DragonCon. You can name it. Like it's. Oh, I didn't know the mic was lower. Okay, now you can hear me. So, also I want to introduce you to my panelists. This is Eris, aka DJ Tsunami. He is very known for excellent music when it comes to house music, techno, and crazy, insane remixes. And trust me, this man has the best shots of tea that he would definitely like to pass around. So it's stirring pot hot. So next up, we're going to have DJ Obi-Wan Shinobi. Yes, our MAGFest main stage performer. Excellent. He is a music artist. He has his own event, and he located based in Ohio. And not only that, he has also his own songs and remixes that you definitely want to check out. And we have, last but not least, we have Jadon, also known as DJ Novio. He is an upcoming young brother DJ that's going to come on the scene. So he's been coming around, so we want to introduce him as well, so he can give you all input. So now, in the introduction, this is life of a DJ. We want to give you the experience of what it takes to be a DJ. So raise your hand who actually wants to be a mobile DJ where you can play the music, get the crowd rolling, and travel and have fun, and not only that, create music. Where's the show of hands? There we go. And I like that. So you're in the right spot, right place at the right time. So right now, we're going to also have any questions y'all want to ask before we get started? Or anyone? No? Just no baby? All right. So, what it takes to become a DJ. So, first of all, you gotta have a DJ name, right? So, having a DJ name, you have to find what's inspired you. What's your character? What relates to everyone that gives you a name that people would know who you are. You know, anybody can be a DJ, but when it has your name and your brand, that's actually going to stand out the most. So, matter of fact, let's get a sample. So, my name is DJ Taylor Senpai. I DJ with my Chuck Taylors all the time. Keeps me comfort. Love to dance and have fun time when I'm moving. And Senpai, simply, I love anime and I love the meaning of Senpai for a teacher. You know, I like to teach, about anything that people can share knowledge with one another. So we asked Tsunami, can you explain what's your story of your name?
Sure. So my last name is Waterman, and Water, a friend of mine, came to me one day. We were in a rap group. This is like back in 2006. He just walked up to me and said, "What's up, Tsunami?" And I said, "That's it. I see what you did. I see what you did there." And ever since then, that's been my name. Now, I lived about 7 years in Japan. And the time that I left was right after the big earthquake and tsunami of 2011. And I felt bad about using my name, just so out of respect to the people of Japan, all the victims, I shortened it and just called it DJ Sue. It was just TSU. So that's pretty much where I got that name. But since then, I went back to Tsunami and I spelled it with leet speak.
I like that. Awesome, man. Amazing. So, Obi, where you get yours?
Yeah, I definitely think that branding is pretty important, especially if you want to consider booking out and performing out. It's really important to have something that's kind of personal to you that can also showcase a little bit of what you bring to the table. So Obi-Wan Shinobi, I got that. I'm a huge weeb. So, Shinobi comes from like Naruto and like the old like Atari game Shinobi. And Obi-Wan, I'm a big Star Wars fan as well. So that kind of got like pushed together into my moniker, and it just kind of rolls off the tongue really well. So I kind of stuck with it. I play a lot of nerd music, so it kind of showcases, you kind of know what you're getting out of, the name when you come see a Shinobi set. So,
awesome. Yeah, that's what's up. Once again, I'm DJ Novio. How I got my name, first of all, having a name is, well, it's important for sure, but it's like having a different name for yourself. It's kind of like giving yourself a different persona, a different a whole different character. It's like, yeah, my name is Jadon. Okay, you know me as this person, but when you know DJ Novio, he's this fun, crazy dude. He likes to dance. He likes to get people up and have a lot of fun, right? So that's one of the reasons why we have the name. Now, my name came along from my mother, who passed away right before COVID. She's the one that actually helped me come up with the name. We often used to talk each other in Spanish. So one day, Novio came up, and she was talking about me getting a girlfriend. So she was like, oh, so you were like a little Novio over here. So I was like, what's that? She said, that means boyfriend. So I was like, dang, that'd be sweet as a DJ name. And he was like, DJ Novio. Oh, wow. I was like, so my DJ name actually wasn't even Novio at first. It was actually DJ Crankmatic. And I used to be a little bit known as Crankmatic in DC, but then I stopped for a while, and I had to take care of my mother. So when I started back up again, I came out as DJ Novio, and I kind of was bouncing back and forth between which one was going to be my artist name and which one was going to be my DJ name, because Novio was going to be my artist name, but eventually I just decided to make Novio a whole, like he said, it's about branding, so make Novio a whole brand. So I'm not just a DJ, I'm a music entertainer. So I do dancing, singing, rapping, producing, all of that. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. You guys, like I said, your name and your brand will reach out to help you get bookings and opportunities as well. So we're going to move on to the next part, is purchasing equipment, or whatever. When it comes to DJing, you got to have amazing, great equipment that you know inside and out. So I'm gonna give you a little sample of some good, so please forgive me, I did not do any slideshows, but so this is a sample of a DJ SR2. It's a 2-channel mixer with cue buttons, some effects, and now that it has an XLR. Some people don't know what an XLR or what's it called?
The quarter inch inputs.
Thank you.
So what he's referring to is just the audio inputs that are used for the controller themselves.
Yeah.
Honestly, it really doesn't make a difference what kind of equipment you use. It is really helpful to have a piece of hardware to operate the software to DJ. But if you're really just getting into DJing, you want to try out, getting a feel for mixing and stuff, I would recommend even using just like Virtual DJ or something like that, where they have software that you can use without actual hardware to practice like mixing in and out tracks. What's that? So Virtual DJ is a software that you can utilize without like a hardware piece, and it'll give you the ability to like get a feel for mixing in and out tracks and kind of the process that it takes to DJ. No, you can download it, a program. Yeah.
Instantly.
Now there are DJ applications. If you happen to be an Apple Mac user, it's just called DJ by Algorithm.
Yeah, AY. Yep. Or the DJ Now. You can even DJ on your own mobile phone. So, yep, available on Google Play and Apple, the App Store. So that's a good way to practice off and start off. So most people are beginners. How many of you are beginners? Show of hands. Or intermediate. Okay, so this would be a good opportunity for you to have either a mobile phone or laptop. Doesn't have to be an Apple. It could be a PC. Any type of software program you could use for practicing your mixes. So when you're practicing your mixes, you want to make sure you understand behind the education of music theory. So for example, you have your circle of fifths. As you can see here, the circle of fifths is like a rotating clockwise of all the songs or type of keys you want to mix into. So, OB, you want to explain more about, because you like the music artist. Like I know you like, because you're the producer. So can you explain more of producing and mixing keys?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on what kind of DJing you're going for. You know, if you're doing like a long consecutive like dance mixes, it is more important than less to mix in key. But if you're doing stuff like vocal mixes and like hip hop stuff, it really wouldn't make much of a difference in my opinion.
Yeah.
But you know, it does sound stuff when stuff's mixed harmonically. So I mean, it's definitely something to consider.
Yeah, thank you. So even though you see all these alphabet in circular motions, there's an actual, this is the thing I use as well. I use the circle of fifths DJ mixing. Oh dear. Here we go. So I don't know if you see here, or better yet, put it right here. Here we go. It's called a Camelot system. So Camelot system, that's what we have on your virtual DJ, Serato, Traktor, record box. You see all these numbers in order as a clock. So what you want to do is, when you do mixing, you want to make sure you mix it in key. So I usually keep this to make sure whenever I do a mix, I want to make sure it blends and matches. So say for example, if I go from 1A, you can either go to 1A to 1B, or 1B to 2B, or 12B. And I can go back and forth to 1B, 1A, 12A, 1A, or 2A. And it's like same thing. It's like a 3-4 pattern. The way my mouse is going around, it's like a 3-way pattern, 4-way pattern. So that way, as long as you keep your mixes key, you can go from hip hop to dance hall to house music instantly. And not only that, your BPMs. You got to make sure you pay attention to your BPMs. BPMs are the beat per minute. And what you do is you count by 4s, 8s, 32s, correct? So,
That's right.
So as long as you keep it in your head and you always have the rhythm. Can we do it, for example, like if I'm running, so every time I do this, 2, I'm counting by 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4. It's like right now I can go from a complete 8-bar system intro to another song. So I'm gonna give you all a sample. So matter of fact, I'm gonna ask who wants to participate. I need participation. There you go. Come on up to the stage. I'm gonna show you how to do an intro mix to help you. I'm gonna give you like an easy start. So let's say, yeah, you come up there. All right, how you doing? What's your name? Brandon. Give it up for Brandon. How you doing? You got a DJ name? DJ name?
Artist name is not YTF.
YTF? I like that. DJ YTF. Not YTF. I like that. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna show you a sample of mixing. We're gonna show you a mixing sample. Let's do something real easy for you, like to get a good intro. So normally I like to collect intros to help me prepare for transitional mixing. So that way it gets me prepared for the next song so the crowd can hear. So it's like while they dancing, and then as soon as you hit a mashing, blending sounds, it's like, oh, okay, you're still dancing, not even knowing, oh my gosh, I didn't know he transitioned into a next song.
So one thing about the extended intro, outro mixes that Taylor Senpai here is using is usually use an open format DJing, people playing like top 40 music or like stuff you'll hear on the radio. So you can actually buy into a lot of different online sites are called record pools, and they will provide you a vast library of music that is already prepared with extended intros and outros, which allow for mixing to be way easier. As you know, a lot of mainstream music will have like clashing audio, and that's something you don't want to have when mixing in a track. So these extended intros and outros allow you that 8 bars of time to mix into the next track before the vocals come in, and you can really emphasize the next tracks that you're mixing in. So that's what we're going to show an example of here now.
All right, so what you see here, this is a DDJ 1000 SRT Serato. So this is your 4-channel mixer. So here, right in the center, I don't know if everybody can see it, but in the mixer, in the middle is your crossfader. This is where you cross from A to B or B to A, either way. And your channels, you have 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So you mostly want to play off of 1 and 2 channels. Or if you have another DJ alongside you, you could go back to back by having the same USB connecting to another laptop or USB, and next thing you know, you working together, mashing and blending the songs that you want to hear. So I'm gonna give you something little sample. Let's give it a little Nas X a little bit. So what would you do? Oh, here's your play button. Your cue. Your cue is your best friend. So your cue, what you want to do is you want to listen in your headphones and show everybody. This is what you do when you get ready to transition to another song. You want to make sure you cue it in, make sure the sound is mashing, like Obi says, not having the audio clashing. You want to have a nice, smooth technique that's blended well, so that way, you know, it won't interfere. Not only that, you want to also make sure that your BPM matches. So I don't know if you see this right here. You see this? Adjust this right here. You see, return in the Mac is 96.6 BPM versus Lil Nas X. It's 98.5. So what I normally do, you know, let's play this. Let's start with return to Mac first. And then you're going to hit play. And right now, this is the intro. So this is an 8-bar intro to get everybody get prepared for whatever songs is getting ready. 3, 4, 2, 3.
This is the part where you would have another track playing and getting ready for this track to come in with the extended intro. So he's just queued up the second track. We're just gonna play for another 8 bars of an intro before we loop into the vocal part.
You get the other sound, right? So what you want to do is you want to match it. You get as you listening, you can drag the BPM down to 96. Yep, that's it. And then sometimes you can use your cue button to make sure it starts on the top. Make sure is it mashing? Is it mashing? So, okay. There we go. So, what you want to do is this is the part where you get ready to transition by counting by fours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, and slowly. Not yet. So that's the thing we don't want to do. When we count by fours and fives, you want to make sure you understand. That's another key thing. You want to make sure you understand the songs that you like and enjoy, but you know it matches to the other song, and you want to take your time. You don't want to rush. You don't want to like come crossing real quick. So here's the thing. I'm gonna show you a sample of blending. So when you hear this key in the note, so when you boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that way you take your time counting, and as you counting, you want to like slowly blending to the right song in the middle once you're on the crossfader, because your crossfader, once you're on this side, you know, dude is gonna like stop and like, what is that? Like, you want to do is you want to make sure you keep adjusting while you like people are having a good time, they slow dancing, and then they're like, oh okay, move, cross over and be good. So I'm gonna let you try it again, and this time just take easily, just take your time. It's all this rhythm. So we're gonna go back to return to the Mac. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you slowly. There you go. All right. That's good. So that's the thing I want to also show you is that when you are mixing, you want to make sure the jog wheels, I forgot it. My apologies. I want to make sure you adjust your jog wheels. If it's mashing just slightly bit, it's okay to like move it up just a little bit, so that way you can mash it to the same sounds. So, like as you go back and forth, you can you know, just continue like practice. That's why this is for a reason. when it comes to DJing, that's the number one key thing you have to do on a daily basis is practice. Practice 7 days a week. Need an hour or two. Matter of fact, I don't have to be an hour or two, just 15 minutes or 5 minutes. And if you sometimes when you practice, you get lost to the point where, oh, I'm playing at 1 o'clock, and next thing you know, I'm supposed to DJ for like 15 minutes and turn it to 3 o'clock. Because the more you enjoy yourself and playing the songs that you like and mixing, it can definitely help you craft so much. So, especially like you want to explain more about practicing. So, share y'all stories about it.
All right. So, for anyone here who enjoys electronic music like I do, yes. You guys are awesome. One of the things that I like to do is I like to take a subgenre of house music, and I would take a 30-minute session and just do a live recording of my practice. And if it sounds good enough to me, I'll upload it. And I've done like 3, I've done about 4. And they were all pretty solid. I sent them to Senpai, I sent them to the crew. I'd be like, hey y'all, take about 30 minutes, listen to this real quick. How do you, give me your honest opinion. Do you like it? Because I was going full freestyle. I didn't even have a playlist or nothing. I just had folders of deep house songs. And I just picked one. And I just went one after the other. No planning, no nothing. Just freestyle. But what you have to do is you got to feel it. It's one thing to practice, but you got to feel the songs that you're playing. It could be a song that you like, a song that you might have never even heard of. It's your first time playing it, but you like it. You know what I mean? If you like it enough, you search for another song that's got the same key or similar BPM and just match it up, and it just goes on and on from there. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, there's tools for that. Like, it's actually in Serato and Rekordbox as well. Shout outs to all Rekordbox users.
Tractor. Oh, we got Tractor in the building? Where you at? We're here. There you go. Awesome. Awesome.
All right.
I'm sorry I didn't bring the full equipment, but, I was like, that's just me. But,
So writing off of repetition, it is really important to just make sure you're practicing with the tracks you have. As far as like collecting your own library of music to practice with, it's really important that you stick to stuff that you're very familiar with.
Yeah.
That way you kind of know what's coming up in the next mix. You can anticipate what you're mixing into. I would agree it is also a really good idea to record your sessions. That way you can see what works, see what doesn't work, and really listen back and see where you can improve and grow from there.
So just like he was saying about matching up the BPMs, I know some people may think, oh, well, that might be really hard. Some people, like, there are DJs that struggle with matching BPMs up, and I'm sure everybody has experienced this, where a DJ is mixing a song, it's a great song, and you hear the song that's about to come on, and it just didn't feel right. So one of the ways that I practice this daily, is you don't even have to be on your board. I go on Spotify, and Spotify has this crossfade effect that you can turn on and just create your own mix by using the songs that they have. Just put it in your queue and just see what songs it blends in. And you can set it to at least, I think, 12 seconds, about 12 seconds, up to 0. And you could just play with it anywhere just to see how well it mixes. And that'll just be mental training. So by the time you get to your actual board, you're already used to mixing. Now it's just up to you to put your own type of flair to it. That's all I wanted to add.
Awesome. Thank you guys. So you want to give us one more shot? Awesome. I love it. See, that's what I want to do. I want people to be feeling really encouraged, because there are no mistakes. All right, like, no matter what, we all as DJs and artists, we make mistakes all the time. Y'all don't even know it. So like for, oh, you got a question? Yeah. On the left side?
Top left. And right.
Top left. Yeah. Yep. So it's originally 90. So what I do is here on the controller, you can adjust the BPM. So you can either slow it down by pushing it up, or you can go smooth it back down to match up with Return of the Mac. So that way you can match this with the next song. Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
So it is integrated in a lot of softwares to have a key lock into it, or a pitch lock, so whenever you change the tempo, it'll just remain the same key throughout it. So that really depends on what software and hardware you are using to activate that part. But just for an example here, we're working in Serato. If you see the color coordinated key, if you could hover over that, Chris, you can actually use a buy-in piece of a plugin for Serato called Pitch and Key. So that can also change the pitch and key of like different tracks you're mixing in, even at the same BPM, just to like kind of force it to be in the right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does that get distorted at a certain point? Do you like really crank up or crank down the BPM?
No, it'll remain locked as long as you have that lock on. No, it's really great for like mashups, or like I play a wide variety of genres, branching from like Mombaton and house music to like drum and bass. So like that's at like 120 BPM versus like 175, right? If I want to make that big jump, I just put on key lock, crank it up, and then mix into the next track. But it is really useful, like having that tool to not, distort songs to the point where they're like not recognizable,
Yeah, there's quite a bit of there's quite a few safety nets for you if you're just starting out DJing.
Especially going into the digital space as opposed to like analog DJing with like vinyl or something like that.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. So also a quick tip, too. So when you doing DJing or mixing, on your either on your software program or hardware, you have your high, lows, and mids. So I know lows is the bass. What's the mids and highs again? Obi-Wan and
they're just the levels of frequency that they're broadcasted out. Like you said, lows are your low end basses, mid is like mid level bass, your highs are going to be your higher trebles and things of that nature.
So if you want to for example, like a house mix, you have one sound and you want to get into another house beat, and you notice some of that frequency could be a little bumpy. So sometimes you usually isolate some of the, adjust your knobs. Like say for instance when you're performing.
Right. Yeah. So what Chris is referring to. So when you only want to have one low end of a track emphasized at a time. So if you're performing two tracks at the same time and you're trying to have them blend, you want to make sure the bass part of one track is only being emphasized at a time. Otherwise, it causes a lot of audio clutter and it can be like very disorienting for the audience. Also, if you're playing on like a sound system without like a mixer, you could also blow out your PAs. And you don't want to have that happen.
You don't want to do that.
At a party or at a club, someone's got to pay for those. So, yeah. So being sure to have the low end only on one track at a time is very important.
Right, because last thing you don't want to do, especially when you have the volume on red, here's a note. Don't ever stay on red. Red is not your friend. It is the most worst person you could ever deal with. And next thing you know, your whole sound system is blew out. Done. So.
Did you have another question?
Yeah.
Well, say like specific levels of frequency. So like, if you wanted to like change the volume for the bass, mid, and the high, like can you do that, or is it usually just like a max volume?
So it really depends on the software and hardware you're using. Generally, without the physical hardware in most like software, like DJ equipment, you won't have the 3-channel EQ band, which is the high, mid, and low, which you can change. But with these specific decks, you do have knobs, and sometimes even more than just the 3-channel. You can get more in depth, but most of them just have the highs, mid, and lows, which you can manipulate individually.
So like there are situations when you might like have a bass line you want to bring in from another song, where you can just hard switch the low end and like start to feed the next song.
That's most of DJing is switching over low ends to emphasize the next track coming in.
Yes.
You got a question?
No.
Oh yeah. You know what? It's no seriously. It's no hard questions. So like you can ask many as you like because yes.
I have you talk about the video. Can I see diamonds like 1A and 3A?
Yep, that's the key. Yep, as I said. So sometimes when it comes to like certain sounds, like it may, sometimes the circle of fifths, it may, sometimes in most of matches, like say for example, that was 1A and 8A. So you got your 1A right here, 8A is right across from here. So sometimes it all depends on the sound, the rhythm of the beat. So normally I would just like go from this, going by the sounds of the music. So like say for instance that right there particular, Lil Nas has like a more of a Caribbean down home chill dance hall, where you have Mark Morrison has like a 90s jam. When you listen to sounds, that's the part when you're practicing. When you hear something that like, oh, I think it sounds pretty good. Next thing you know, you just like try it out. Yep. And next thing you know, once you find that sound and you think, oh, this is good, and then we have friends like, yo, can y'all check this out? They either agree with you, or sometimes this just don't match us. Sometimes it's not. And that's another thing about mixing or practicing, doing recordings. Like people is not gonna like it. But there's always a way. It's gonna be a lot of criticism. So here's the thing: you just gotta take criticism and just learn how to adjust, how to make things better, and always room to improve. There's no thing as a perfect DJ. You can always have room to improve. We all can be improving. So speaking of improving, you wanna get us one shot? Cool. So let's start from the top, and then. Yep, as we said, it's your cue points. It's your hot cues. You can go from you can set your hot cues from the beginning to the end, or whenever you want to choose, like from a certain chorus, certain verses, or just the intros period. So, yep. Do that in. Now you hear it. Take that off. Yep. Now you hear the other side sound. So what you want to do is you want to count by 4 and just 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. There you go. Listen. So here's the thing. Once you hear that connection part, you're just gonna leave it there because this is the intro, so you wanna like ride it out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and you hit it. Boom. Now it's blinking, right? You hear any headphones? So now you're gonna get an opportunity to move your crosshair slowly. Move to the center. And then you want to grab this low pitch, and you're going to turn it to this right here. There you go. There you go. Not bad. See, look, he did it, y'all. It's a noise. Awesome, man. Thank you. All right. That was a little sample, like I said, especially, thank you so much. What's your name? Not YTF. Here we go from not YTF, everybody. All right. So that's the beauty of being in the DJ community. It's all about working together and connection. So we're gonna like when it comes to like getting together, as if you know someone as another DJ, it's always good to work together one another. No matter what kind of music background you come from, just, when you have similar songs that's really good together. That's why I love. One thing about DJing is it's an art. It's a way of connecting to one person. Like, I'm a person that connects to hip hop. You got someone that's connected to house. You have someone that's connected to drum and bass. You have someone connected to trap and crank music. And what's so amazing about it, we all like the same similar songs to work together as one. So if I have trouble with something, like, hey, can you help me with, can you help me with drum and bass? Sure. And then he just teach me how to mix and blending, or do a scratch transition to another house music or drum and bass. Or Shinobi may be asking Tsunami, can you mix the transitions with your songs, and they'll work together. So it's always part of that on DJing is networking. You have to connect people who could be your mentor, who could be, your partner in crime, just to, rock the party and stuff. So it's all about especially the connection. So you want to explain more about it? How y'all, when it comes to networking and DJing?
Yeah, I would definitely say it goes hand in hand, especially if you're coming from a perspective of someone that's trying to play out and be involved in the community. Networking is important for building your fan base, as well as connecting with other people who can also help you push your craft. One of my close friends in my DJ crew is in the crowd here, Dawn, if you want to wave. We build off of each other and host events together in Columbus, and it's really helpful to have a kind of a crew to be able to learn things from and help collaborate on things. So it's with any hobby it's good to have somebody with similar interests to help push you. Even some healthy rivalry even. Yeah. It's always cool to show your friends your latest blends or something that really pops off, and it really helps encourage and keeps us fresh and pushing.
It's like a Pokemon battle. You got that. It's amazing. So not only that, from DJing connectivity, you want to also, from networking, you want to work. Here's a big thing we like to always, most importantly, is getting bookings, and especially working with clientels, whether it's a baby shower or a music festival, or it's a wedding or a nightclub or cons here. So working with clients, you want to make sure you have your contract. Make sure everything is well established, how much you want to get paid. Since the beginners, when it comes to beginners, I think you just want to make sure you set your price. Before you ready to take on the clients and performing well, you want to make sure that you craft your music first. Make sure it's well together, put together, and not only that, when you talk to your clients, you want to ask them what music would you like to prefer? Would you like mainstream or house or pop? You want to make sure you have everything ready and set for them for your gig. So, and I would also like to add, it really depends on what you want to do with DJ.
There's no right route. If you want to be a bedroom DJ and just mess around with some music, that's perfectly fine. I recommend any audiophile or anybody that's super into music get into DJing, because it's a really cool way to mess with tracks and kind of explore different avenues. If you want to be a gigging DJ and play out shows every weekend, that can be your thing too. And it comes with a different kind of territory of marketing yourself and setting boundaries and things like that. Does anybody would like to become a touring or performing DJ out? Does anybody have any questions about getting gigs or how to get started with that kind of thing?
It's okay. There you go.
How do you get bookings for genres that aren't, or how do you get bookings for Gabber,
Gabber, hardcore,
cool.
fast stuff.
Yeah.
I would really say, for any specific kind of niche community, online forums are a really good place to start to see if there are any events going on in your area. With the boom of the internet and everybody being able to connect remotely is also a very good way to find people that are into the kind of music that you would be looking for. I know VR chat community has a huge hardcore fast music scene, so I would definitely recommend checking that out. Searching tags on Twitter, Reddit's a really good place as well, and there you can also find communities of DJs who are probably willing to share their chops as well. As far as like getting in real life bookings, that all depends on like your local scene, and going out to shows that are putting on the music that you would like to play, and meeting the DJs and meeting the promoters really goes a long way. You know, you could always send somebody a message or email, but going out in person and really making that impression goes a long way with getting bookings, I would say. You know, open mics are really good too if you have those in your city. You know, promoters are always looking for new talent to put out. It's just, you gotta get out there and talk to people.
Yes.
Absolutely. And then not only that, conventions, like for example here at MAGFest, you know, we hear so many DJs that's pop up on the jam space. You hear some songs that you also like, and you never know, you might come across a chairperson from another convention that would be interested in you at performing at their shows. So it's a good way to market yourself. And not only that, social media. I know social media is now the new currency, but as long as you present yourself, a lot of content of your transitioning or your scratching, your routine, and then you know people will find out more about you via SoundCloud or Mixcloud to get a sample, and your own website as well. So
having content uploaded is very important.
Yeah.
That's how I got on MAGFest. That's literally how I got booked for main stage. They checked out a bunch of streams I've done over the pandemic, and they were like, hey, we really like the stuff you're doing here. So having recorded content for people to cite is really important for bookings, because you can always just walk up to somebody who's like, hey, can you book me? But they have no point of reference to know whether or not you would be a good fit for the show, or fit the crowd or whatever. So having some recorded mixes or something that you can cite to hand off to people is very good way to get bookings. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes. You have a question?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
Recording.
You want to know like on how to record mixes? So one way of doing it is, if you have the right equipment, like for example, I have the XDJ RX2. It has a built-in recording feature. Mm-hmm. You just drop in your USB and it will record it in very high quality WAV file, uncompressed. You can do whatever you want to do, convert it to MP3, and that's like honestly the easiest way to go. Or if you have DJ software, it'll have a recording function as well. I've seen some people where they try to record off of the mixer, or they would have like a aux cable or something, they'll plug it into a recorder and do it that way. Like I've seen some real Frankenstein stuff, but those are like honestly the simplest ways of doing it, either the software or the hardware.
As far as arranging your first mix and like what to put in there, I would definitely recommend sticking with songs that you're very familiar with. Especially if you're just starting out DJing, I would recommend kind of staying in the same genre, just to make sure you get a feel for mixing and like smooth transitions. I'd say download 30, 40 of your favorite tracks and kind of play around until you get something coherent. And that's kind of how I got started with recording mixes.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Like, so as far as getting equipment, it depends on what budget you want to use. So yes. You don't have to get you don't have to get this. You don't need this. You could get as small as this size right here, like a 2-channel mixer. I highly recommend a record box DDJ 200. So it's a beginner's. I think
it's the 400.
400.
Yeah, the 400.
Okay.
Yeah, intro decks can really range between like $50 to $500 depending on what you want to do. For intro decks, I just recommend getting something simple with 2 channels and a three band EQ, because those are really just the basics that you need to know, and that you'll take up to any deck for you to choose to upgrade from there. Personally, if I were to recommend a deck, it would be the Newmark Mix Track series.
Yes.
They run like a little under like 150, I believe, and it comes with Serato integrated as well, so it really gives you pretty much everything you need to get started with. the Newmark Mix Track series. Yeah, so I believe there are like 3 or 4 iterations of it, but they're pretty cheaply priced out, and it's club ready. You can perform on that gear.
Also, don't be afraid to look for models that are discontinued by like maybe a year or 2.
Yeah.
Because you can get them for like really good money.
Yeah, and all the software will still be compatible.
Yep.
Like, it's like, as you see here, it's like some of the samples you can see, you don't have to be like, you could get this for a sample. The Mix Track Pro is really good intro to start off. And like I said, like OB and Tsunami says, you don't have to get, you can really get like an old 5-year-old controller and it still works functionally well. And basically everybody has their own way of mixing with their own controller, something they really like, they know inside and out of it. So and not only that, it keep you saving on the budget. So as far as the controllers, you also want to get speaker. You don't have to get like crazy big speakers. You could get like a Bluetooth or connecting auxiliary cord speaker, like a JBL or something that just help you get like a good surround sound. You can get a PC speaker to use, for example, to help you get a sounding quality. So like less than like $100 too. So
yep.
And far as yes.
You play at Newmark and Restaurant Toronto, and you want to play the club that has like mixers that are on like record box. How hard is it to like transition from
Yeah, so we had this problem last night. We had this problem last night. So I use Rekordbox, and Taylor Senpai here uses Serato as demonstrated earlier. There are third-party apps that you can use that will analyze your tracks in both softwares, and they can put over your cue points and any metadata you have for those tracks, and it'll translate easily. I didn't come prepared for that, so I ended up just trying to drag and drop my stuff from Rekordbox into Serato, and it takes a long time and it's kind of bulky. I recommend using the third-party apps if that's something you have to do. But there are avenues to make it more streamlined than just dragging and dropping. I also recommend having 2 separate USBs for Rekordbox and Serato if you are like a traveling DJ and popping up on different kinds of setups. That way you don't have to deal with the hassle that we had to last night. Yeah.
And not just any USB, like those typical little 32 gig or 128 gigs. I personally recommend getting a portable SSD.
Yes.
Yeah. Get a portable SSD. The SanDisk ones, the Samsung ones, they're small, they're very portable, they're fast, they're way faster than using standard USBs. Because if you got a USB that's like 128 gigs and you got anywhere from like 100 to 200 songs and you load it into your equipment, it's gonna take forever to load. But I showed both of these guys. I was like, yo, check this out. I got an SSD. Plug it in, and they were like, yo, how the hell do you have 30,000 songs loaded that fast?
Instant, and it's literally less than like $100.
Exactly.
And it's less than $100. So trust me, this is a good
These
investment.
things always go on sale.
Yeah, so it's perfect for CDJs, controllers. So CDJs is like one of the most popular venues they use it now these days, where you can just plug and play. So also we're gonna go on to working with your clients. Like we'll go back to it. Let's be honest. This is the part where Tsunami's gonna bring in a little tea and stirring hot and ready. So it's Tsunami. Tsunami, can you explain the times where you had to encounter? Matter of fact, it could be you and matter of fact, all of us can share our experience with our clientels. So when you dealing with clients, you want to make sure first of all, you know your worth. Don't let anyone take advantage of your craft and your DJing. Now back then, yesterday's price ain't today's price. Know your worth and make sure you get respected, because this is your passion. You want to get paid for your practices, your investment in equipment and time and effort. So I'm gonna start it off with you.
All right.
Okay.
So unlike cons, I got DJ friends that mostly do cons. I I got my adventure started in Japan, and I was playing nightclubs. And out there, it's a completely different animal, you know. Like the music's fine, but the people that I was working with, it turned into more of a self-promotion thing for me. Like, I didn't see a dime. I met the headliners that they flew in. Yeah, you heard me. Flew in headliners, paid them, gave them the whole red carpet treatment, and I'm sitting here going, wait a minute. Are we getting anything? You know, I'm talking with my friends. I was like, yo, do y'all get paid? You get paid? You get paid? And everybody hit me with the same thing. No. You know, and they looked at me like, paid? Like, no, we don't get paid. And I'm like, wait, what are you doing? Why are we doing this? Why are we not getting paid? Like, are we getting anything? Oh, well, we get drink tickets. A drink ticket ain't going to pay my bills, bruh.
For real.
Like, I don't even drink, so this is useless. Like, what we doing here? What we talking about? So, ever since then, I had to learn real quick, hey, why don't I go back to my photography? And I started shooting DJ events, and I got paid double that than what I would have got DJing for this same venue. And this is what led me to telling Senpai, Shinobi, and all my other friends at cons. I started a hashtag.
Yes, sir.
Hashtag pay your local DJ. Pay your local DJ, all right? And it's one of these, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, when you know your worth and you know that you can bring a hell of a show to a venue, to a con, to anywhere, if the person that's running the thing is not going to pay you what you're worth, there's no conversation to even be had, you know? Like if you say, hey, my budget's $200. Pay me $200 to spend for, you know, an hour or whatever, or 2 hours. You know, you can come in fair, but if they say, oh, you know, I'll give you $50 and, you know, open bar,
Bye.
Nah.
Yeah, I will say it is important to know your worth, and every art deserves to be compensated in one form or another. You know, I will say don't turn down every unpaid opportunity, though, because doors open doors.
Yes.
You know, especially if you're playing out, people are seeing you playing out, you're showing off your skills, that'll open up more opportunities for you in the long run. You know, I was doing a bunch of different streams over, you know, peak pandemic, and that's what got me into a lot of open doors. You know, I wasn't getting paid for those performances.
Yeah.
You know, and there's also a thing about doing it for the passion. You know, I understand, like, you know, most of us get into it just because we love music, you know, but don't let the passion interfere with your bag as well. You don't want to overexert yourself to the point where, like, you're not able to provide for yourself, or you're not being compensated in some way or another. Mm-hmm. That's why I say compensation in a form, whether that be exposure, which don't pay the bills at all, but it does open other doors. So, you know, you just need to do cost benefit analysis on those type of things. You know, am I playing for free for like 3 people? Am I playing for free in a room of like 1,000 plus?
Right.
Or I'm able to like connect with like prime demographic and like get your word out there. So, you know, it's all give and take. And setting your price point and boundaries can be a very touchy-feely subject, especially with dealing with things like imposter syndrome. And it's like, oh man, am I even worth this amount of money?
Right.
But fuck it, you know, you're worth the amount of money that you tell yourself you're worth. You know, and if they're not with it, you know, they can kick rocks, so to speak.
Right.
Simple as that.
Another thing to I'm sorry. Another thing to think about is these guys have all been talking about knowing your worth. Another way of making sure that your worth is basically stamped on is making sure you have a well written up contract to give to your client.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about, oh, okay, I want it for this day. Okay, we're doing it this day. No, I'm talking about going into detail. I want these amount of songs. You want how many songs? Okay, I need the names of these songs. I need to know where this location is going to be at. So I'm going to give you an example. recently, I think it was in December, I did a Christmas party, and I've been working for these people for a little bit, and I'm already like, they give me the ick, so to speak. So what gave me the hugest ick was they said that their gig was going to be on a Air Force base. So I'm already thinking, well, it's a maximum security base. There's no cut cards here. So, like I said, that contract comes into play. But there's only a certain amount of things that a contract can do. You can, like, the problem, I'm going to just say this. The problem was I got to the gate, and they didn't have my name on the list. And I was their only source of music. So if you can imagine, oh, hey, I'm ready to go, and another thing is I always arrive to my gigs like an hour early so I can set up. So if you can imagine me getting there at 3 o'clock and it be 4 o'clock until somebody comes to let me in on base, and now I'm running late because somebody didn't do their job correctly, and you can't contact them at all. You just got to pray to God that he sends somebody, which he did. So definitely make sure you know what you're doing, what you're about to get yourself into, and make sure that contract is good, because you do a gig. Let's say I did a gig like that and I didn't have a contract, I probably wouldn't get any money, or not as much money. They could probably undersell me. Like, let's say if I was going to make a $400, they'd be like, oh, here goes $250. Oh, wait, you just said I was going to do $400. That's where that contract comes in. It's guaranteed.
Yeah, people won't hold to their words if you don't make them. But we have about 3 minutes left. Do we have any quick questions we could knock out before we head out? We're going to probably stick around for a little bit if anybody wants to ask in person. But
yeah, 1 and 2 in the back. Serato is free to download, but the subscription is like $50, but if you want to purchase the full package, it's $150. I would highly recommend just go with Rekordbox or Virtual DJ or Traktor, because like
Rekordbox is free.
Rekordbox is free,
Rekordbox,
but you can also get the like, depending on what hardware you buy, you get like the full professional edition included for free.
Mm-hmm.
And
right.
also, if you're willing to pay like $30 a month, you get the unlimited unlimited storage space via Dropbox. So you can back up all your stuff there. It's only $30 a month for unlimited storage. Who wouldn't want that?
Yeah, I would.
Serato,
do
do
we
you
have
got
another
that?
question?
Anybody else have any other questions? There's a question all the way in the back.
In the back,
yes,
yes.
sir.
Yeah, you can.
Come on.
Come on.
This is just one question about having is there like any
That's a good question, because last thing you want to do, especially when it comes to streaming now, there are some certain rules. You don't want to play certain songs by music artists because their rights and copyrights established. So what you want to do is you want to look for royal-free music. There are some available on Twitch, Discord, or you just look up like royal-free music that you can try to download and mix as well. Also, you can also check out, like Shinobi said earlier, record pools.
Yep.
You have, for example, BPM Supreme, DJ City, and my MP3 pool. You pay like average of $20-$30 a month, and you get find all the music that's like promoted free. So you can
Free unlimited downloads.
Yes,
Right.
And especially
Also,
not downloads.
the royalty-free thing, only worry about that if you're trying to monetize like streams or like trying to record mixes and like monetize that on YouTube. Otherwise, you can definitely use other people's music and like remixes and stuff like that. That's 80% of DJing, really. As long as you're not like monetizing that, it's fine, legally speaking.
But be careful, because when you, like you said, when you're trying to monetize it, they get a little iffy about that. So YouTube, and definitely nowadays, Instagram, Twitch, anything that's have a live streaming, even TikTok, they're even doing it to TikTok now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're even doing it to TikTok now, where you could be playing a song and they'll flag you and take your whole post down, and you could have a good content right there too. So you got to really be careful.
Which is why you record locally.
Hey, your local DJ.
Yeah.
Record
Exactly.
locally. No, there is
Yeah.
one quick rule. This is actually my personal rule.
Don't play Hitler's music.
No. My personal rule is this: have good bit rate if you're running MP3s, because I've seen some songs that sound like they done ran through the mud, literally.
So what are you saying with bitrate is like the quality of audio file?
Yes.
So if you're using like a YouTube to MP3 converter or like a SoundCloud to MP3 converter,
God.
that will ruin the bitrate quality of the audio track, and it won't sound good on a high quality system. Now, to each their own. You know, I'm a pirate, straw hats. You know, we out here. But you know, if you do wanna like rip songs and practice with them at home, that's perfectly fine. They sound decent on like computer speakers, something like that. But you will get clowned. If you'll get clowned, especially by other DJs and audiophiles, if you're playing low bit rate files on like a larger sound system, because it just will sound like it's chiptune and it's not supposed to.
And to add to that, so remember I said I was a producer, so I mix music as well. So to get into what he's saying about the quality, what he's saying is an MP3 I'm gonna say it like this: an MP3 cuts out certain frequencies that you don't hear in a WAV file. A WAV file is a bigger file because it traps more frequencies and it has a better quality. So when you get that MP3, there are certain frequencies and a certain quality of sound that is missing. Yeah. And that is why it's important to make sure you know what you're downloading.
Okay, so unfortunately we have to wrap it up, but please reach out to us, my social media, DJ Taylor Senpai on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and on Twitch as well. Tsunami, you can do your social as well.
Yes, you can find me at The Real Tsunami on Instagram. I'll throw the hashtag up, and you can add me outside. I'm also on Twitter as BLK Nerd Japan, and I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that junk. So.
Yeah, you guys can find me at Obi-Wan Shinobi DJ on most platforms. If you Google Obi-Wan Shinobi, it'll pretty much come up. But yeah.
When you guys want to find me, I am DJ Novio on Instagram. It's DJ NOVIO, letter V. So that's me.
But yeah, we'll be sticking around for a little bit if you guys want to chat some more.
Absolutely. All right, thank you, everyone. Yeah, it's being recorded. Yeah. All right, thank you, everyone. Enjoy your year 23 MAGFest. Get home safe. If you have, like I said, we on the floor. If you have any more questions, please reach out to us. Oh, and real quick, before everyone leave, when you get a chance, if you're on a guidebook on the app, can you give them a review of how you experienced this panel? Like, we want to do this next year, so we want to do more educational background and get more experience and hands-on with learning DJ as well, okay? Just let them know. Thank you so much. Thank you.